We have the prayer and the pledge by Councilwoman Deidre Ledbetter.
Heavenly Father, thank you for the many blessings that our community has been given. I pray for all of us who are in the offices that govern this community, and that we make wise decisions which are always in the best interest of the entire community. I pray for those who have answered the call to be part of our new police department. Please protect them in their line of duty so that they can protect our community. I pray for the citizens of our community that they continue to work together with us to make New Iberia a great place to live. God, fill us with your spirit every day that we reflect your light and love in all that we do. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Dan Dahl.
Here.
Councilmember Natalie Lopez. Councilmember Marlon Lewis.
Here.
Councilmember David Broussard.
Here.
Councilmember Deidre Ledbetter.
Here.
Councilmember Sherry Guidry.
Present.
Councilmember Dustin Swear.
Here.
Councilwoman Lopez texted me and she's caught in traffic trying to get here from Lafayette. All right, agenda item 1 is public comment, and we have none tonight. At this time, I'll just remind you to silence your cell phones, and we'll move on to agenda item number 2.
Acceptance of the minutes of the May 15th, 2018 meeting as published on May 24th, 2018.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry, that was a quick one, and second by Councilman Lewis. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank you. Agenda item 3.
Persons to address the council. Mr. Donovan Davis to address the council about the Juneteenth celebration in West End Park.
Don't see him.
Is that here?
We'll move on, and if he gets here, we'll roll back. Agenda item 3B.
Pastor Zachary Mitchell to address the council on progress and update for District 6 with guest speaker David Denton.
I don't think Zach is here, not that I see, but I'm David Denton. I can speak. I appreciate the opportunity to address the council this evening. Zach asked me to be here as a member of the Iberia Christian Ministerial Federation. I know he's been before you many times and spoken with you and spoken to us about his presence here and what he's doing in terms of getting us together as local pastors in the community. So I just wanted to take a minute, if I could, a very brief amount of time, and just kind of tell you from my perspective how important I think that it is, not only for our community, but for us as ministers to be involved in it. And I guess just by way of introduction, just the word from that's across the airwaves and over the TV screens from last night about yet another shooting here in New Iberia has got to be at the top of our minds, and is a deep concern to all of us. And I know the question comes, when is this going to stop? When is this going to end? And just kind of brings me back to, I guess, a theological point that I wanted to make as a member of the clergy. I'm reminded of something that Jesus told his disciples in the Sermon on the Mount. He called them lights of the world, and he called them the salt of the earth. And as you know from your study of history, that salt is used as a preservative, or has been used as a preservative down through the years. And Jesus was simply making a point. If you're going to be a part of my kingdom, if you're going to be a follower of mine, then I'm going to be using you in the culture as a preservative against decay. And I think that the efforts of the Ministerial Federation right now kind of fall right in line with that biblical principle. It's our belief that mobilizing people to be in the community in a visible way helps to act as a preservative against cultural decay. And so the Federation has made some concerted efforts lately to do that, especially since the beginning of the year, to come together for all-night prayer, and then to follow that up with a prayer walk in the community in which we just kind of walk the streets and pray and have conversations with people about spiritual things. And I support it. I'm appreciative of Zach and his efforts to get us together across denominational lines to make a difference in this area. I'm the pastor at Highland Baptist Church here in town, and I've attended several of these functions. We're going to be hosting actually the prayer walk this coming Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that event. But my prayer is that as we continue to do this and continue to come up with other, perhaps more systematic ways, rather than just kind of spontaneous special event-driven methods, that we're going to really get at the heart of our community. And I believe that the only way that we can do this is through spiritual transformation, and this is just one effort. So we're making ourselves available. We appreciate the opportunity to speak with you about it, and we also want you to know that we want to avail ourselves to you in the event that such future partnerships are an opportunity. Any way that we can come together with you and work with you, and we believe honestly that you also are an instrument of God for the preservation of order in our culture. That's a win-win for us, and we would jump at every opportunity to do that as we have the opportunity to share our message and to share our presence in the community. So just want to say thank you, and we are praying for you as a council. Thanks for the opportunity to address you tonight.
Thank you. Zach?
Well, good evening, Council. Good evening. I hope that the last time we met and we talked with you that everything went well. It's summertime, and you know, we changed gears for summer. But let me get right to the heart of the matter and flowing. I want to say to this council, as well as anyone that view these programs, you know, on the channel, there's an element that I believe the devil loves to employ, and he uses it so much because it's successful, and it's called fear. If you have fear, you can't be in faith. And we are praying concerning our city, because our city is now feels as though they're learning new levels of fear. And if we give in to that, we can't think, we can't go forward, but most of all, we can't believe for the goal. I played football a long time, and one of the biggest things on the field is you stand across from your opponent and he starts to jaw jacket and talking trash and telling you how he's going to knock your head off and all that. And all he's trying to do is induce fear to get you off your game. But this is the encouragement that I want to speak not only to this body but to this city. When the enemy begins to seem like things are turning up in fear, it means that we're making a headway and he's losing. And we must understand that kind of strategy. This is not a Pop Warner game. This is for the lives of people in our community and our families. This is serious stuff. That's why the only way that we can be serious is to give our life for whatever purpose we've been put on this earth for. Not half your life, not part of it, not holding back, but give it all. Now, I know you didn't come here for me to preach to you, but I'm just telling you, it is going to take you all. See, and that's why the enemy can get us in fear if we're not all in. You got to be all in. And you got to be willing to sacrifice yourself for the good of something that's greater than you. I want to pass our folders out, and I just want to focus on going forward. We had a tremendous time in District 5. I want to say the highlight of our boots on the ground, which it was raining, and so we did what we call drive-by praying. And that means we were in our cars, and we had prayer points and we prayed. And if the rain would stop, we would do several things. We also employ strategic stopping at certain places. And we really had a great spiritual encounter at the Iberia Parish Courthouse. It was just tremendous. There has been a statement of, and when you're dealing with spiritual things, there's all kind of visions and dreams and all those things. But someone had a vision that there's just a kind of cobra type situation over our city. But you know, when we met at that courthouse, there was another vision that God gave, that there was this big old cobra rising behind that courthouse. And then there was these great big hands that came and cut off the head of that cobra. For us as spiritual leaders, what that means is that we are making a headway. And I want to encourage, we are. It may not look like it in the natural. You may not look like it with your eyes, but we are. We are making a headway. So let me give you these, and I'll talk. I don't have that much time left, but thank you, sir. You should now have a library of this stuff. We are helping the paper industry, and the forestry folks are really working against us. So, and so, as usual, we provide you with flyers and et cetera to pass out. Those things that need to be passed out. You then have in your folder the hot spots and concerns for District 6. And we took a ride in District 6 and saw a lot of these areas and areas where we need to focus on. And I hope that Pastor Denton allowed you to know that we'll be launching our prayer walk from Highland. The situation has allowed us to see the characteristics of our city, and each district is different. And so we now focus on District 6 after coming from District 5. I want to quickly say, before I get into anything else, for Councilwoman Sherry Guidry, we so appreciate you, and we just believe that that there's going to be some great things happen in your district, and we're looking forward to it. It doesn't mean that it won't happen in the other districts, but that's just something I wanted to kind of give you, and we look forward to that. The one thing I want to focus on in your folders is going to be what we gave you guys the last time for what we call the Lit to Overcome 2 Crusade, and then the Children and Youth Summer Camp. And we spoke about the buy-in of the council concerning that, dealing with many of your donations and taking some days. And I believe you went forward. Some of you already made some financial pledges. We are looking at collecting those things today, if possible, and further getting a commitment from those of you that did not commit, concerning these two events. Now, the crusade, July 7th, here in City Park, for our youth and our children. And then we have our camp that we are working on, and we are so pleased that the city and the school board has come aboard with us concerning this 7-day Children and Youth Summer Camp. And you see there we have various different days, and we already have a menu out, and I think some of you may have pledged to do a day. Now, I want you to consider that we are looking for, and we ask you to get 100 children for your district. Now, I've heard from several of you of how you ran your campaign. You walked your district, you polled your people. I know that you have some people that you are able to count on to knock on doors. I'm asking you to get those people again and ramp them up so that we can get all of these children into this crusade and into this camp. And you can turn those in, and we can just celebrate together that we've done a tremendously great job in getting our youth and children out. And so that's why we provide you with the waiver forms that you have in here in your folder, but also these forms. So we want to, I said the last time, let's lock the doors and put the chains on and don't let you get out until you commit. Not going to do that. That's illegal. And so, but I'll just stand at the door and, strong on you a little bit. But we definitely need a commitment from you concerning these. Second to the last thing I want to put before you before I go take my seat is I want to give you something that's going to be near and dear to our heart, and I need you to respond. This that I'm putting in your hand in the envelope is an invitation to an exclusive community investment summit. This is going to be a community cry. Did I give you two? Mm-hmm. You maybe need two. No. Just one. All right. This is going to be a community cry, and this is going to have our stakeholders come forward. We're looking for them to have a buy-in in our community. I want to tell you now, it's going to take our community to deal with what we have to deal with. Last thing I want to say to you is we have already been interceding for our new police department coming on the ground. It's closer than ever before. It looks like the time just zoomed right by, and here we are. I want to thank all the council as well as Mayor DeCord and the work that they've done, as well as police chief and his leaders. They have done a tremendous job. I believe that this is a big cog in bringing our city to be what it will be. We know that there's a lot of challenges, but this is a situation that is serious. And I want to give you some words of Jesus. And as I go take my seat, he was asked to come to a home to pray for a little girl. Walked into the place, and everybody was kind of sad and etc. because they felt like the little girl had died. The mourners was in there. They were weeping and crying. And, he told them, he said, don't weep, don't be afraid. She is not dead. She's only sleeping. And, of course, when you look at things with the natural, you can't see the deepness of the spiritual. We believe the Lord is in this, so we believe and know that it will succeed. Not without sacrifice, not without challenges, but also with victory. Questions? Yes, ma'am.
So not to duplicate for the summer camp, some of the materials, can you at least tell us, like I see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
Yes, ma'am.
They have different foods that
Right.
you'll be feeding the children.
Mm-hmm.
What particular items should we not get, not to over duplicate with, that you already have, or is that not the case?
Where we are with it now,
Yes, sir.
we're on the ground running. So if you take anything from any one of those days, you will not be duplicating.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions? Because remember, this is the first time since I've been coming, I slowed down and said questions. So, okay. Thank Councilman Swear. He's already on the ground cooperating with us, and we just look forward to it. Be blessed. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, now we move on to item 4, resolutions.
Resolution to levy the 2018 millage rates, which notice was published on May 3rd, 2018, to adopt millage rates on the 2018 tax roll on all properties subject to taxation by the city of New Iberia.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Dan Dahl.
Second.
Second by Councilman Swear.
Mayor, can you make a statement that this
I'm going to make a statement that our taxes are not going up.
Yeah, please make that
statement. We are going to stay exactly. A yes vote keeps us right where we are. This is not anything new. We will remain at the same rate. Is that good?
That's great.
All
That's why
right.
I made the motion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion? Okay, please vote your machines. The easiest tax vote we'll ever do. Thank y'all. Item 4B.
Resolution accepting administrative change order number 1 for the West End Park electrical repair project to adjust the contract amount.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Councilman Lewis. Do I have a second? Councilwoman Guidry. I'd like to let you know, just to explain this real quick, this is a change in our project, but we don't have to go back to our coffers. We had the money from FEMA. This adds, if you look at your breakdown, about $2,300 in round figures to change the lights of the basketball pavilion to LED. We feel that, one, we know it'll be much better lighting. The consumption of electric will be down. That'll help our bill. And the third thing is all of those lights are broken. They have all been damaged or broken or vandalized. It is harder. It's not impossible, but it is harder to break an LED light. So the combination of those three things is why we decided to spend the money that we had from FEMA for these repairs. So we are ready to, award the contract we have, and this is a change order to go to those LED lights. But I just wanted you to understand it wasn't coming out of the general fund, and we had the money already from FEMA to accomplish this. So any questions?
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
do you know how many lights that is?
I do not. I walked it with the electrician, and we looked at the existing lighting, and he did a new layout. I do not remember how many lights.
Okay, thanks.
Any further questions? Yes, sir. Councilman
I have a
Seward.
question. I just have a statement to make. This is a prime example of money that we are spending on our parks.
Yes.
I've been hearing a lot about, well, we're not spending money on parks and so forth, and we are. I mean, we've taken a lot of time throughout this council to really allocate some dollars to all the parks, West End, City Park, regardless. I know some people can't actually see, no pun intended, with the lighting, but
Yeah. Once we fix it.
but things are getting done, and just get out there and see, notice that our parks are, even though we have a limited amount of funds, we are doing what we can to make it work.
Yeah, this project is $70,000. If you look at the West End repairs of the roof, the air conditioning, the meeting room, and the kitchen, that was 70-something. If you look at the, we're gonna start calling it the old fire station instead of the senior citizens building. But if you look at the old fire station in City Park, we're spending another 70-something thousand there. So that's three projects that we've taken on, this year. They were talked about prior, but this council budgeted the money and, found a way to do it. And you're right, we are spending money in our parks because our parks are important.
All right, thank you.
Sure. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote your machines. And for the record, Natalie Lopez has joined us. Thank you. Madam Clerk, Resolution 4C.
Resolution authorizing the designation of the Daily Iberian as the official journey for the city of Iberia in accordance with Louisiana Revised Statute 43-150 and Louisiana Revised Statute 43, Section 174.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Good. All right, motion by Councilwoman Guidry, and who had the second? Councilman Lewis. Do we have any discussion?
Didn't we already vote on this?
We do
before
this
the
every
deal?
year.
Okay.
Every year we go back and they are our official journal, and so we re-adopt them as our official journal.
Yes, sir.
Further discussion? Please vote your machines. All right, man, you keep your job.
Oh, you look happy.
Put that one in the paper.
Corey, thank you for all the.
Yeah, thanks for all you do, Corey.
Appreciate all the extra effort. I know it's hard to see these.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Thank you again, buddy.
All right, Madam Clerk, item 5, public hearings.
Public hearing on introduction of an ordinance amending Article 2, Police Department, Section 46-26 of the Code of Ordinances relating to duties of Chief of Police.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to open.
Thank you.
Second.
Do I have a second? Motion by Councilwoman Ledbetter, a second by Councilwoman Lopez. Is there any discussion, any public comment? Motion to close.
Motion to close.
Same two people. Thank you. We don't put our machines on.
Not till
No, I don't think
next
so.
one.
All right, 5B.
Public hearing on introduction of an ordinance amending ordinance number 2013-5, Chapter 75, entitled Mobile Food Units and Outdoor Merchandise Display, Section 75-2 of the Code of Ordinances regarding definitions of the code.
Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Lewis and a second by Councilwoman Guidry.
Ledbetter.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ledbetter. I didn't even look up. Do we have any public comment? No public comment. Looking for a motion to close the public
Motion
hearing.
to close the public hearing.
Now we hear from Councilman Guidry and a second from Councilman Lewis. Thank y'all. Madam Clerk, C.
Public hearing on introduction of an ordinance amending ordinance numbers 459-93 and 98-545, Chapter 40, Historical Districts Established, Section 40-2 of the Code of Ordinances regarding the geographical area of the New Iberia Downtown Historic Commercial District.
Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Councilwoman Guidry, Councilwoman Ledbetter. Any public comment? Seeing none, motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Councilwoman Guidry, Councilwoman Ledbetter. Thank y'all very much. Item 5D.
Public hearing on introduction of an ordinance for budget amendment number 2017-2018-07, amending the ordinance levying certain taxes, appropriating the funds necessary to defray the expenses and liabilities of the city of New Iberia for the year 2017-2018, to appropriate expenses for the police department and amend budget to reclass collection fees for 1/2 cent public safety sales tax.
Motion to open the public hearing.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Lewis and a second by Councilman Broussard. Do we have any public comment? Hearing none, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Lewis and Councilman Broussard. Thank y'all. All right, and we went through these pretty quickly, but these were from the last meeting, so we had our discussion last time. I don't want anybody to think we just cranking this out without thinking about it, but this was our second visit on these items. Okay, Madam Clerk, ordinances.
Okay, now the ordinances. An ordinance amending Article 2, Police Department, Section 46-26 of the Code of Ordinances relating to duties of the Chief of Police.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Ledbetter. Do I have a second? Councilwoman Guidry. Do we have any discussion? No discussion, please vote your machines. Thank y'all. 6B.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 2013-5, Chapter 75, Mobile Food Units and Outdoor Merchandise Display under Section 75-2 of the Code of Ordinances regarding definitions of the code.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Councilwoman Ledbetter. Do I have a second? Councilman Lewis. We have any discussion?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
on this ordinance, what are they actually doing with the food trucks and, the merchandise display? What are they actually, what are they trying to accomplish or
Right.
not accomplish?
Right. I'll call on our city attorney. It's not a big change. It was,
Okay.
Small change.
yeah, it's not
Just to
much, but
add
we added,
police.
Law
yeah,
enforcement.
we added a
Law
little
enforcement.
police.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to do with enforcement, and we just updating this to show the police as one of the agencies that would enforce this.
Okay. Whether or not they can operate or not is what they're gonna enforce, pretty much, or how they operate.
Well, we define law enforcement officer in the ordinance, and before it talked about an employee of the sheriff's office, state police, or marshal, deputy marshal of the city court, and we're adding New Iberia Police Department. We're putting them back in this ordinance. That's all we're doing.
Have we been
Yes, sir, Mr. Broussard.
collecting taxes? Have we having any trouble with these mobile units coming and going, in and out? Some are staying a good while next to buildings, I see.
I don't
But
know.
I don't
wonder
think
how
we've
that
had
all
any
works.
problem, no.
I
Don't-
just
I
wondering
think,
if the taxes have been,
yes, sir.
no trouble with that.
Yes, they get permits and it's regulated
Or
and
just for-
highly regulated, actually. They check it twice a year from the Board of Health, where a restaurant gets once a year. I think we're on top of it.
That's good. Just wondering if, 'cause they come and go.
Yes, sir. That's what they're supposed to do.
You see one day, the next day they down the road.
Right, right. Any further discussion? Please vote your machines. Thank y'all. 6C.
An ordinance amending ordinance numbers 459-93 and 98-545, Chapter 40, Historical Districts established under Section 40-2 of the Code of Ordinances regarding the geographical area of the New Iberia Downtown Historic Commercial District.
Do you have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by, everybody tried, I think.
Sorry,
Councilwoman Guidry was first, and Councilwoman Ledbetter was second, and the Mayor Pro Tem was third, just to tell you.
Third don't count.
Well, sometime, I'm counting it. Do we have any discussion on this item?
I do, Mayor.
Yes.
It looks like they changing some boundaries.
Yes.
Is there any way, Jane, maybe next meeting on our packet, we can have it, a little chart to show us on a map?
Sure.
Because since it changed, I know it's got the location, but maybe we can look at a little map.
Yeah, the boundaries actually decreased
Uh-huh.
a bit with the National Register Commercial District, and that was by choice from the National Park
Yeah.
Service.
I know you gave us one, last year I had one in my office.
Yeah, I'm
But-
happy to do
Okay,
that.
if we can do that, Mayor, that way we can look at it.
No, that's
and see
great. And it'll
exactly
show you the
what
87 buildings that qualify.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it'll show all the buildings on it too, because 87 buildings, which is really remarkable, in our historic district qualify for those 40% tax credits, which is awesome and should become a real catalyst for development. But yeah, we can give you a map.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Being that we did reduce to 87, this ordinance that's in place, does it just cover the national district, or does it cover the other buildings? Do we have a separate district?
They're all in the
National
district,
credit?
but only 87 made it to the national district. The rest of them are all in our state historic district,
So the ones
still in the
state,
historic district.
You can still be able to enforce the ordinance within the state district, not just the, so that
Right.
it's gonna still go outside of 87, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just included in it. In the district, there's 87 buildings,
Yeah,
but there's
it's like
probably,
an overlay district for our original
Right.
historic district.
because there's probably, how many buildings you think in our whole historic district?
121
Yeah,
in
that's
the
what I
National
thought.
Register District, and then 87 qualified as contributing elements. That's quite significant.
Great. Any further discussion? Thanks, Jane.
Thank you.
Hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank y'all. Item 6D.
An ordinance for budget amendment number 2017-2018-07, amending the ordinance levying certain taxes, appropriating the funds necessary to defray the expenses and liabilities of the city of New Iberia for the year 2017-2018, to appropriate expenses for the police department and amend budget to reclass collection fees for 1/2 cent public safety sales tax.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Swear. Do I have a second? Councilman Lewis. Do we have any discussion on this item?
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I just want to thank you for putting this, the letter on the top of each line item.
Does make it a lot
It makes it
easier
a lot
to
easier to
read.
read.
I'm telling you, it really does.
So thank you for that.
Not a problem. It was a good idea. Any further discussion? Hearing none, vote your machines. Thank y'all. Madam Clerk, item 7.
Introduction of ordinances and setting for public hearing on June 19, 2018. An introduction of an ordinance amending Chapter 38 entitled Health, Sanitation, and Property Standards, and repealing Chapter 55 entitled Nuisances and Property Standards of the Code of Ordinances for the City of New Iberia.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Broussard. Discussion on this item. Hearing none, no discussion? Okay, please vote your machines. Our little system's working? What? Way to go, Deidre and Sherry, but that's pretty good. All right, item 7B. I'm surprised.
Introduction of an ordinance to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with Iberia Parish Law Enforcement District for the housing and maintaining of prisoners of the City of New Iberia in the Iberia Parish Criminal Justice Facility.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Ledbetter, and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Doyle. Do we have discussion on this item? Yes.
So what's the scoop?
Can you give us a price?
Yes, the scoop is,
The daily rate, what's the deal?
deal? How many can we have in there at a time?
Well, there's over 100 beds available at any given time for the most part, and the rate is the same as what we have been paying, $30 a day. We negotiated that. The rate was actually proposed to be higher, and the sheriff was key in negotiating the rate back to what it was. There was a debate among his staff, and they wanted 40, and the sheriff stepped in and gave us 30, which is what we had budgeted because that's what we have been paying. So I have to thank him for that because that's all the money we had budgeted. So that's where we're at, and we'll sign the contract, and it's coming before y'all because as per the charter, anything for over 23 months, and we're actually signing this for for 2 years. So we get this rate for 2 years, so it comes to y'all as an ordinance. Thanks to William Cobb.
Mayor,
He was on our charter commission. Yes.
how many per day prisoners we have?
How many per day? Well, it
Yeah.
depends on the activity and how many we.
But do we have a limit how many we can bring? Because
He told me he had openings for 100, so I don't have it budgeted to bring 100 prisoners a day. I can tell you, but you know.
We used to keep about roughly 10 a day.
Yeah, I'm figuring.
I thought it was like 15.
I was figuring between 10 and 15 was kind of what we thought, but
Okay, thank you.
at any one time. You know.
And it's gonna be based on where the crime occurs or where the person's residence is. Is it gonna be,
It's
if they're considered a city
Well, they're a
person,
city-
is it gonna be based on where the crime occurred or where the
Where the-
person's residence is?
it's where the crime occurred because we're locking them.
I'm
Our
making
jurisdiction
sure.
is the city,
I know, I'm just making sure.
and once the DA accepts them, they go off of our nickel. It's $30 a day until when it's a felony, and they accept the charges, and then we don't pay $30 a day anymore, which is very important. Okay, and we're going to have to control that tightly because we only have so much money.
We have a very good clerk up there, Ms. Ruth, who I think will help you out tremendously with that.
Think you're correct. Any further discussion or comments? Hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank y'all. Item 7C.
Introduction of an ordinance for budget amendment number 2017-2018-08, amending the ordinance levying certain taxes, appropriating the funds necessary to defray the expenses and liabilities of the city of New Iberia for the year 2017-2018, to amend budget for Louisiana Main Street Grant Award and carry forward fiscal year 2017 available budget for Church Alley project.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilwoman Lopez. Do we have any discussion?
Mayor.
Just,
Mr. I don't know who
Go
went
ahead, women's
first.
first.
No, it was Dan, but
Oh,
let's do
sorry.
ladies first.
Yeah,
Ladies,
ladies
ladies,
first.
ladies first.
I'm sorry, we was talking at the same time. I didn't want to.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Ladies first.
Okay. I just had a question. If we just maybe can you explain this real quick, since we all know that Church Alley project is already done, but
Jane.
can you just give a quick explanation?
Yeah, I'll get Jane to come up, and she has been instrumental in this project.
Was a question about Church Alley?
Yes, concerning this particular ordinance, budget amendment number 2017-2018-08.
I mean, I can't speak for Kevin, but I think that is a transfer of money from one fiscal year to the next. And the project is, for the most part, complete. And we're just finishing up on our final invoices and signage. We have 2 signs left that will be installed in Church Alley. And then we'll proudly wrap that up. We're working on a phase 2, which will come a little bit later. But for the most part, it's complete.
Thanks, Ms. Jane.
You're
Just
welcome.
wanted a quick explanation, everyone.
And we will be coming back, James alluded to it, we will be coming back. There's a little area that's about maybe 15, 20 feet long that we think we can hopefully get a little additional funding from the state to wrap that up, and it would kind of neaten it up. It's an area between where the paving is in place that cars pass on and the part that we walk, and there's kind of a little no man's land in the middle that we were hoping to get some money. And while we're doing that, we're combining that with a little extra piece for the kayak dock, which is a grant that we'll be bringing to you very soon that we are going to be awarded. So anyway, but that's coming. That's coming. Any further discussion on this item?
Mayor,
Yes.
do they have any dollars left in that fund?
And the church alley
Yeah.
fund,
No.
there won't be.
There won't be.
By the time the
this'll-
signs are
This'll clear it
completed.
out with the signage and.
I
we'll be
just
done.
thought, if we can get some funding to put those walkways like they do on Lewis Street with walk and don't walk where people don't use, where they can bring them downtown where people can use them. Because there's a lot of people, today I almost saw someone get hit, because there's a lot of things happening downtown.
You mean crosswalk?
Crosswalk, not the crosswalk, but the signage. You remember they have it
Okay.
on Lewis Street and Parkview now, and have it on
Right, the
Main
state- the
Street.
state
The
put
state
those-
put it, and that's a state road.
We can
Is
ask
there any
for
way
it.
we can ask them to have some walkways so people can know when to cross the street and when not?
I don't see why not.
All you can do is
We
tell us
wouldn't be
no, we
able-
can try.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to use funds from the church alley
Yeah.
grant because those are dedicated funds, but we certainly can.
Because, people to think about it, if they go into the Slyman or going to the Blue Dog later, and
George
going to the,
Rodriguez.
George Rodriguez, if you're gonna go to Church Alley, you have to cross Main Street.
Right.
Even to go to, to Bowling Plaza. So I
Right.
think it's something maybe we can request, Mayor, since
Sure.
we're having all these
Sure.
little things happening
No, that's great.
downtown.
And I mean,
Yeah.
what you don't know about that I'm going to tell you tonight is
I've been reading.
did get the grant to put the beginnings of the boat slips behind where Rodriguez Park's going to go, on the property that Edward Landry has donated to the city.
That's a
On the
big
back
one.
part of that, we're going to be able to replace the boardwalk with something permanent and a bulkhead and some concrete, and we've received that grant, and we'll be putting a few boat slips. And I only bring that up now because Dan's not wrong. When you figure Rodriguez Park, when you figure these little boat
you say that
slips,
again?
okay, it's on the tape. You got it. On this, when you figure all of the things that are coming between Church Alley, Rodriguez Park, the boat slips, all of the things that we already have downtown, I think we do make a really good case of, as much as we're utilizing crossing the street in our downtown to at least get the state to spring for one of those. We didn't ask for the ones on Lewis Street. I'll just tell you, they just popped up. That was something that the state had planned. They have some other plans for Lewis Street that's in the works. We welcome any improvement. We can't control it, but we welcome any improvement. But I got no problem asking for more. So anyway, yes, sir.
What about
Dustin.
the grants that's what is it, Safe Way to Public Places? Is it the DOTD that?
It is. I mean, we could
Is
go
that
back to
something
the
we can go
MPO
out-
because I'm coming to you to pay the bill pretty soon. We
Yeah.
could go back to them and ask for that as well.
Safe Way to
Because all these things are related. I mean, we got to
Yeah.
vote on this, but they're all related because
Mhm.
it's all good things in our community that are happening in a concentrated area.
Okay.
Yes, Councilwoman Gideon.
I just wanted to add to Mayor Pro Temp, I like what he said about the different activities downtown. And then now, hopefully in September, I thought I saw somewhere where we'll have something to the nature of Downtown Alive. So, I think that would be a good idea for a crosswalk in those areas, a designated place for people to walk.
Cool. Yes, Mr. Broussard. Waited
Very big-
patiently.
Very big blind spot next to Blue Dog in our building, next to the museum,
Mm-hmm.
coming up that alley. I drive my bus every day. It's a very big blind spot, so a good sign like you're talking about would help us liability-wise too.
Mhm.
So we're looking for those crosswalk signs.
All right.
Because
Good.
I stick my nose out when it's red, and in fact, we're gonna turn up that bus to make sure somebody sees me.
Yeah,
But
good. Thank you, Mr. B. Any further discussion? Well, we'll get back on track. We need to vote on the Church Alley item, so hit the button. Great, thank y'all. Yes. Okay, and that was item. All right, I see that persons to address the council. Donovan? Donovan, this was item number 3A. You were on the agenda to address us about the Juneteenth celebration in the West End
I
Park.
didn't even know it. I didn't even know it went through.
Well,
Just for the
I saw you walk in, so
Okay, bless
give
the
you a
Lord.
shot. How are you?
Amen. I want to say hi to each and every one person on the board, and thanks for allowing me to come and introduce our new program, our event, our 501c3 organization push, new chapter. And we're a 501c3 organization, non-profit, tax-exempt organization that services the community in a variety of ways. Amen. We giving a variety of services in unemployment management, servicing the community and with the elderly, in a variety of ways. And we have different programs that we got coming up with the Juneteenth. That's on the 16th. And we also have the June 9th. It's the youth explosion of many various assortment of gospel artists and rap artists that are coming to the King Joseph Center in Generate. And we also have on the agenda the Stop the Violence rally. That's going to be June 30th on Hopkins Street at 5:30. Amen. That's the 3 items that we have on the agenda. Juneteenth, that's going to be on the 16th at 10 o'clock in the morning, from 10 to 4 o'clock, 10 a.m. to 4 o'clock.
That's the jambalaya cook-off?
Yeah, jambalaya cook-off. And they're going to have a variety of games, vast assortment of games.
Right.
Different things that are going to be entertainment, within a good entertainment value. Amen.
Good.
That's it?
Thank you for coming.
Amen. Awesome. I was tired. I just got up.
Got a question?
Go ahead.
Hi, Evangelist Donovan.
Amen.
You said on June 9th, I think you said the MLK in Generate.
Yeah.
You said there was a youth explosion or
Yes,
something?
ma'am.
Okay, what's the time?
10 o'clock a.m. to 4 a.m. again.
Okay, 10 to 4 again.
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
That's what I need to know.
Amen.
Thank you.
Awesome. New chapter push.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. All right, now we move on to item 8, property standards. I see Mr. Landry rolled in.
Revisit demolition of property located at 820 and a half Field Street, located in District 5.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Councilwoman Gibbs, do I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Lewis? Jimmy?
Motion to remove?
Yes, and, but I wanted to just give a quick explanation. I spoke with Mr. Alfred today, and, he said that the porch, we're not putting it on the screen today? We don't have to if you don't want to.
Well, I got here late, it's not on.
Okay, I got it. Mr. Alfred, I know he talked with you about the porch and stuff like that, and it was, mostly complete, correct?
Yeah.
And also too, I think he still have a few pieces of trees down, but they did start cutting it up, and his brother's gonna continue to help him now that he's, off from school, cause he works for the school. And, he said that, he did fix up the back area to patch up. I mean, I think he was dealing with a structural issue. And hopefully by July 4th is what the goal is for him to have everything completed and,
Okay.
brought to the road.
But it's good enough to remove.
Yes, sir.
All right, is that a motion?
Motion to remove it off the demolition list.
Great, we have a motion by Councilwoman Gibbs, do we have a second? Second by Councilman Lewis. Any further discussion? Vote your machines. Thank y'all very much. All right, item 9, we have none. Item 10, Councilman remarks. I'm gonna start on this side. Councilwoman Lopez.
I just want to say that we had it in our packet, I think it was last time, but for the city residents, that the pool at the park is open and that they're doing, numerous rounds of swimming lessons this year. So I know a lot of people don't know where to go for swimming lessons anymore. I want to reiterate that it's open. It's a good program. My son and I, we went to the pool a couple times last summer and had a great time. So I hope people will go and take advantage of that. I think that if, the city helps us and puts an effort into coming out to the pool, we will see an increase in people coming. It can help build our case to get more funds, to make it better, to help the West End pool and all that. So I hope that people really come out and utilize the facilities this summer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna announce that the camp is up and running, correct, Ms. Heather? June the 4th, it started Monday, yesterday.
Swimming lessons started yesterday.
Swimming lessons as well.
Swim starts Wednesday.
Okay, swim starts tomorrow. That's sponsored by Western Neighborhood Association as well as the city. Back in the game run, started already. I was sitting here a little quiet tonight, thinking about this murder yesterday, cold-blooded murder in daytime. Ms. Ledbetter, I heard your prayer. I heard him. I listened. And thank you, you know, because we need it now, you know. I don't know what we can do. I don't know what we can do, man. And it's happening all over the city. It's not happening. It's not regulated to one district. It's happening all over the city. You know, can't wait till the city police department come back. But you know, we're gonna have to still put our heads together to see what we can do. Some type of gun task force. It's serious out there. You know, I know the family of the young man that was murdered. I saw this little kid, probably 1 or 2 years old. I've been barbering 27 years. And I know without a shadow of doubt, this little kid was a good kid. You know, he was in electrical school. He was waiting for a job. You know, it happened in the parking lot. You know, it ain't about violence. It's about violence, but it's not so much about violence as it's so much about, I'm mad, I got a gun, this is how I'm ended. You know, and that's a challenge we face as a council. Like I said, I heard your prayer, and we need it, you know. And it was just tough for me today to really engage in, you know, in the business, the regular business of the council, because people really look for us for answers in situations like this. And I can honestly say I don't have an answer, and I don't think we all have the answers, even collectively. But we definitely need to put our heads together, our thoughts together, our minds and our prayers together, and try to do something to change the state of this city. You know, New Iberia is still a beautiful place. I still think a lot of it is media attention. A lot of it is, let's take the camera off of Lafayette. Let's take the camera off of New Orleans. Let's take the camera off of Gary, Indiana. Let's take the camera off of Washington, D.C. Let's take the camera off of Baton Rouge. You know, let's put it on New Iberia. So we have to stand up for our city and recognize that some of these events, though they are horrific events, but they're happening everywhere, every day. And we cannot allow these evils, as Pastor Zach said, to consume our minds and consume our city and make us feel like we can't do nothing, don't want to do nothing, don't want to live anymore. It's really not like that. It's still a great place to live, you know. That's it.
Adding to Mr. Marlowe. Marlowe, you said all the time, all of us are in this thing. All of us. It didn't hit me until this week. Got 2 shootings in District 3 on Eden Street. By God, you can't even go eat a hamburger. And you're right, it's happening in all towns. We have no more or no less than Opelousas or Eunice or Ville Platte. We don't want to say New Iberia is not open for business. It's open for business. But we have to get our new chief, sir, find a way. Keep out of New Iberia. Go do your stuff other places. But we have to find a strong way to tell them. And it's hard to find out who has a gun and who wants to shoot somebody tomorrow. But we have to change something. And it hit me right between the eyes, Mr. Marlowe. And Mr. Mayor, I'd like to invite the State Senator Fred Mills and our legislative delegation to our next city council meeting or the next 1 or 2 meetings that we have to come give us a report on what they did at the legislative session or the little sessions. I think we do that once a year, so it's a good time to do it. So if you don't mind, kind of invite them to the next meeting or 2 when they can come. And
Yeah, they'll be in a special session for the next meeting.
I'm just saying,
For sure. But
we
as
might
soon as,
wait.
but as soon as we can get them, I'll be glad to do
We're
it.
trying to, once a year, we always
Yeah,
get them
no,
done.
that's fine. I think they, like I said, I think they up to their eyeballs and they will be in a special session, but
Come give
as
us
soon as it's
come
done.
give us an answer one way or the other.
Okay. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yeah, Mayor, I want to thank Fire Chief and his people. I had an incident where they had to come to my place of business and they were so professional and so caring. To use somebody like that, you don't appreciate it. I want to thank you and your staff for what you did. And something else, I had 2 people that called on to Public Works and for a problem they had, and they did such a good job and they were so polite to the person they went and check on, and they called to tell me that. So I want to thank that, because you know, in business like myself, when people call and appreciate your men, because that's who represent us up here, is the city workers and the department heads. And I want to thank them, because you know, I don't think I know we appreciate them, but sometimes we can't pay them what we should pay them, and we're going to work on that, Mayor.
I don't disagree on that one.
But I want to thank the employees and the department heads, because they really got some good people out there and they represent us well. So thank y'all.
I just want to thank everybody who attended the crime symposium, and we had a diverse group of people who attended. They did add suggestions and they made comments, and all. The panel was absolutely wonderful, and the sponsors that helped us out in putting it on were great also. It's going to take more coming together like that to talk about how we solve our problems with everybody involved, city officials as well as the community. We do have to come together because we're in this together, and that was one thing that I stressed. We are in this together, and we have to stand with each other in order to make a difference and make some changes that are needed here in New Iberia to make it a better place. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilwoman Guidry.
The Book of Lamentations, chapter 3 and 2 says that this I recall to my mind, therefore I have hope. And the New Iberia City Police Department is that hope. I also believe Lamentations chapter 3:22. That says, it is of the Lord's mercy that we are not consumed, because of his compassion fails not. And I believe that that the Lord still has compassion on the city of New Iberia. And I know that we are in a state of emergency and a spiritual unrest. I get the calls too. I agree with Mr. Lewis, Ms. Ledbetter, and the rest of this council. We just need to continue to work together. They ask me many questions on what can be done. The truth of the matter is, we all don't have all the answers. It takes a shared thinking, it takes teamwork, and it takes coming together. And it takes getting out there in our own districts and also crossing district lines and bringing people together so that we can all work together to tackle this problem. But again, the city police, the New Iberia City Police Department, it will be a great instrument in that facilitation. I'd like to thank our mayor, or congratulate our mayor publicly, because we all attended one of his, a recent award that he received. I was glad to be able to sit in the audience and hear precious stories concerning him as a young person. I learned quite a bit that I did not know. It's a blessing. Let's just say our mayor is just not a softie. He's all man. So, you know, I thank God for that. Lastly, I don't know how to swim, so y'all was talking about some swimming lessons. Is there any swimming lessons for adults? I mean, and whoever teaches me, they in for a treat, because I really don't know how to swim. I'd like to take that. Who do I? They teach adults, or it's just children? I don't want to show up, you know, in my bathing suit, you know, and y'all don't. Yeah, come on, sweetie. I'm serious about this. I have a fear of swimming.
We didn't offer the adult lessons, but I promise you, if you can get me at least 5 adults, I'll come out there and do it myself.
You'll teach me how to swim?
I certainly will.
Oh, this is exciting.
And I know we have another swim instructor back there. That's right, I'm not gonna call you out, I'm just pointing my finger, but you can help out too.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Dustin?
I have one announcement to make, and that's I would like people to come out and support the prayer walk that they have been supporting for the past 5 districts. And the one in District 6 is going to be held on Saturday, June 9th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and we'll be meeting at Highland Baptist Church at 607 Victory Drive. So I'd like to encourage everyone that wants to come out, please do. I know this is the last district that we're going to be doing the prayer walk, but I'm sure there's going to be more to come, I'm sure, from Reverend Mitchell. So I'm just encouraging everyone to come out and please support it. So thank you.
Thank you. I got a couple tonight. You know, sometimes it's tough to be the mayor. It's a big job. It's a blessing, though. I'm not complaining about it because I love every minute of it. You know, over this last week, you know, we had 3 shootings. We had the murder at McDonald's, If you read the newspaper, we got the census back and we lost 800 and something people. You know, as the guy who runs this place, that is, you know, shocking. We knew we were losing people, but now the proof's in front of you. But I'm going to tell you what you do. You can't stop. When you see those kind of things, let me tell you about the grants we're working on, all right? We got a team. Between Jane, myself, and Paul and David Arland, we turning grants out like never before. And we've come together and just said, we live here, we want improvements here, we want more here. We all know we got money issues. The only hope we got is to match that money where we get 80% and only have to come up with 20%. So we're working, and we're gonna stay positive. And I have those days that you get kicked in the teeth, and you know what you do? You just get back on the horse and ride it again. You find something else. We are not gonna quit. So it actually is motivation. But let me just tell you real quick, okay? We just finished in Church Alley, y'all all know that. The kayak dock's $108,000, and it's coming. We submitted a grant for the Civic Center Marina, which would be boat slips behind City Hall for $433,000, and we're still in the running for it. We just found out we were awarded, one day this week, the boat slips and the repairs to the boardwalk and the bulkhead behind the future George Rodriguez Park, which is coming. That's $266,000. We have a grant that Paul Island would give us, the CVA system, which allows boats to dump their waste, and it has a bathroom on it. That would get floated over and join our marina to really make a full complex. That's a $66,000 grant that's submitted. We're about to submit a grant to Tony Hawk's for the skate park. Y'all all know that our police are coming on board, and one of the things they're going to do is tell our little skateboard buddies to get off of Main Street and private property, and get off of our public property and public buildings. But we got to give them a place to go. I mean, these are our kids. So we have committed to reopen the skate park. I'm telling you that I've watched the city park crews. The city crews at Parks and Rec are fixing the equipment. Where they can't fix, private citizens have stepped up. Thank God for Ted McIntyre. He's doing some things. We are taking that old equipment, got our insurance guy out there, John Carroll with Brown & Brown, and said, okay, tell me how to do this. It was closed, tell me how to open it. Well, they came up with best practices and uses, and we're going to spend some money on some signage, but it's going to open again. And we plan on having it open for July. Now, in addition, if we got this $50,000, we could have a, first-class skate park. But the point is, we're moving. We're taking the things we have, and we're making the best of it. We submitted a grant for the Evangeline Theater to fix the marquee lights. That's $30,000. We submitted a grant to fix the inside. You know, the crumbling brick wall on the inside that we've had trouble with for years? Well, we submitted a grant to fix that. We have a huge grant that we're partnering with the school board to put SRO officers in more schools and to give us, Lafayette got up to $1 million. It's not dead, but it's on hold because some fool tied that grant to immigration. So it's kind of a picture much bigger than us, you know. Talked to Senator Kennedy, and he said when he got back to Washington, he was going to work on unwrangling that so that the COPS grant could go forward. We've been talking to a representative with the Department of Justice. I think we have a really good shot. Nobody else in the country is building a police department from scratch in, 8-9 months? So we really feel that and the combination of partnering with the school board is going to give us some horsepower. We submitted a public art grant to the Bloomberg Philanthropies for $600,000, and we'll know about that pretty soon. We were awarded $2,000 laptops for our patrol cars. We got that from Walmart. We got another $2,000 because now we have 2 Walmarts. So we got $4,000 to go toward our laptops. If you'll notice downtown, we've wrapped 4, and we had enough money to do 5, so we're doing another one. Utility pole, those utility boxes downtown that tell kind of the history of our community, the history of Louisiana, and the beginning of the history of New Iberia. Now, we're going to apply for more of these. I want to turn them. I want to head up Hopkins Street. We are already designing them. I want to tell the story of our entire community. And I think what a cheap way to do it. They cost us about $1,000 a pop. If you haven't noticed them downtown, there's 5 of them, but that's something that we're going to ongoing continue to look for grants and put them all over town. And why not tell our story everywhere? The more we celebrate our uniqueness, the more, all this bull's going to stop, the more our town's going to succeed, and the more people are going to want to live here. All of this is about quality of life. It's all about taking our city back, and because Marlo's right, we're a good town. We got our issues, but we're a good town. We just need to fix our problems. But let's not get caught up in those problems and not forget about what we already have, because we take for granted our culture, our history, and all those things that we have that nobody else does. We going for another grant through Main Street America for some more work on this lineman. We did the Red Dot tour years ago. And it was a cheap way to tell the history of every downtown building. Not every building's going to get a trilingual plaque. Not every building's going to be, the most historic building in the world. Of those 84, and then you add the rest of them in, so it's 100 and something buildings, they all have a story. That's all our families who've invested. That's all our history. People say, why celebrate downtown? I celebrate the whole town. But downtown it's the repository of all of our history. It's where everybody started. It's where all our businesses came. It's where we were founded. It's where communities have put money up, people of our community, and it tells our story. And our visitors come. First place they're going to come is to our historic downtown. Now, I want to spread them out all through town once we get them here. But first thing we got to do is learn how to hold them in our downtown. Right now, they go to the Shadows. They're back on a bus, or they're back in their car and they're leaving. Yeah, they go to Conrico, they go to Avery Island, they go to Tabasco, they go to Jefferson Island, but they're not staying in our community. We have so much rich history to tell. We're starting downtown, but like I said, I want this to continue all over town. Church Alley and the kayak dock. Okay, y'all know the Brownsfield area on Superior Street used to be a gas station? It's just sitting there. Well, why not make that the entry to the kayak dock? Because we already got the money for the kayak dock. So we can do a sculpture, we can do some signage, and it redirects you down to the kayak dock. It's another draw. And right now, it's just a blank piece of property with a slab on it. So we're going to ask for some more money for that and to extend that little bit of Church Alley all in one. But those are the kind of things, splash pad, okay? We are desperately looking for some grants because I really want to see the West End get a splash pad. So every grant, I stick it in, and then they tell me, well, it's not really a fit. We've already tried a couple of times. We are searching, aggressively to find a grant for a splash pad. But like I said, these are the kind of things I do when I get pissed off. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. When you get kicked, when you feel like, hey, we're not making the progress we should make, we're not the community, we're not living up to the potential we have, then find something to do about it. Find something to challenge yourself, to challenge your staff. Get going, move, because we ain't going to get it standing still. And Zach's right. Fear is the enemy. If you're scared, you can't get anything done. So this is what I do when I'm down. This is how we keep this ball moving. Anyway, I just thought we needed a little bit of good news, and we're going to keep it going. And now I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Done. Thank y'all.